You said the best time to light last week was like just after Shkia, right?
So there's different, somewhere between Mincha and Ma'ariv, somewhere between Shkia and Seis. I saw some people write it like right after Shkia. I would give it a few minutes anyway, because there's Shkia itself. There's a few minutes when there's a real Shkia anyway. There are those that light a bit later, whatever. It's best to light before Ma'ariv. If you're already lighting after Tzeis, then you light Ma'ariv first. But Chatchila Menicha Bad B'davka to light before Ma'ariv. Rather before the Zman of Ma'ariv, in other words.
Right.
If a person's already lighting late, he should have a Ma'ariv first. But if he's lighting on time, it's better to light on time before. In other words, according to our minhag that we light between Mincha and Ma'ariv, we should light, either right after Shkia or whatever. Some people say they do it it's different exact. Different people have sometimes somewhere between Shkia and Seis. But whatever it is in general, all oils are kosher for Chanukah candles. The mitzvah namufcher is to use olive oil. Now today the olive oil market, I think the biggest fraud is in olive oil. Because they mix olive oil with other oils. One of the biggest frauds that they have, I think the biggest fraud maybe in the food industry, whatever it is olive oil. Because olive oil itself is really expensive. So you have all different things that they do, that they mix other oils, and you could tell there are ways of telling in the papers that they're going to give out, that they have different ways of telling, but the bottom line is I don't think you have to make yourself crazy, because it's not like it's ma'akiv. Any oil is kosher, you understand? If you don't want to be ma'ader, it's a way of doing it. If it smokes, or I don't know, there's different things that you could tell that how it's not real olive oil. The real problem is on Pesach. The real problem with the fraud would be on Pesach, because if they mix in olive oil itself is fine. But if they mix in other oils, which is a shayla of kidneys or whatever, not getting into that. So, I remember I was listening to Shir from Rabbi Belz. He was saying that when it comes to Chanukah, a lot of people, they give out a whole list of the problems, let's say in Israel, which oils are more prone to be might be played around with and not be real olive oil and dust. He says Chanukah is not the end of the world. It's not olive oil as was, but Pesach it makes a difference. Those that are makbar and kidneys, olive oil, or oil that comes from kidneys, it's a problem. At any rate,
if it's kosher the Mahadrin, kosher the Pesach, then it should be good anyway.
Yeah, but the problem is that the hechsherim are first of all, the manufacturers, two fraud things. First of all, the manufacturers, they falsify olive oil. It's another big problem in Israel, which is bechlal, but also especially in olive oil, is that they falsify hechsherim. They'll sell you something and it has the badatz on it. The badatz doesn't, it's just whatever. Wicks again, all wicks are kosher for Chanukah candles. The best thing is to use cotton or flax wicks. The minhag of the Frierdiker Rebbe wasn't to change the wicks every day. He would use the old wicks from the previous night, as long as they're still usable. Depends what you're using. If you're using floaters, then
I use I buy ready-made. They're done.
So it depends what type. Yeah. Certain wicks I can't reuse, but those, let's say I make my own wicks, so you can still use it for another few. Whatever, it depends. Eventually it burns up. So you don't have to change it every day, but you should use the old wick from the previous night for the new, you should move it over to the new candle. The shamash.
The one from last night?
Let's say the first night I lit
and you're going to add another?
I'm going to add another one, so I shouldn't leave the wick in the candle I used for the first night. I should move the old wick to the candle the first candle I'm going to light tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be the second one over, so I should move the old wick to that candle. The reason that's given is because last night I fulfilled the main mitzvah with that wick. Tonight, if I'm going to light another candle first, and then I'll use the wick from the night before. So the first candle that I lit, that's the main mitzvah. The main mitzvah, midrabanan, is one candle. The extra candles are just mahadran, just to make it hit the mitzvah. So last night this wick was the main mitzvah. This was the mitzvah. Now, if I'm going to add another candle the next night, and I'm going to put a new wick, a fresh wick in that candle, so the old wick that I used last night is going to be demoted, downgraded. Last night it was used for the main mitzvah, and tonight it's only being used for the mahadrim. Therefore, it's best to move it over to the new candle, the first candle that I'm lighting tonight. So I'm going to be mekayim the main mitzvah of Chanukah, which is the first candle that I light, was that wick. That's the reason that's given. The shamish that we use is our minig is to have wax, beeswax. You have a lot of other places, if you notice, other people's by their menorahs, they have a olive oil shamish. They have a higher thing. They don't, obviously you can't use it to light the other things, but they use some type of whatever shamish. Then they light for the shamish, they light a thing of olive oil on top. We use beeswax.
Are you allowed to prepare the lights? You know how Shabbos. I remember my father used to do it, so I do it. That when you prepare the candles, you light them just to make it easier for
the wife,
the wife and for the children to light. Now, for
want to light it before Chanukah. In other words, you want to light it first, so it should.
Yeah, just that it should be. You can straighten it out. That it shouldn't burn like all funny and all.
I don't see why not. There are those.
I don't want to. If it's, I'm just asking if you're allowed to.
I don't see why not. The candles, like today, most menorahs don't have the problem because they're already set up. But if a person doesn't have a menorah, he has to make sure the candles are in an equal line. It's not in a circle because then it looks like a bonfire. It shouldn't be, zigzaggy. You should be able to tell that it's part of a menorah. It shouldn't be one high, one tall. There should be enough of a distance from one candle to the other candle, so two flames shouldn't be too close that it looks like one flame. Particularly by wax candles, you have to separate them. They shouldn't, heat up from one another and melt.
If it goes out after 20 minutes, you can just relight it.
After 20, yeah, you're supposed to relight it. Not only you have to, you're supposed to. And not only you could, you should.
And what if the rest of the layer has gone out already, and you see that, this only just had like a mamshashtickle.
Did they all burn for this year?
That's probably not. Then you have to do them all over again.
I have to read all of them.
Or at least just this one. Like on the third night, the second candle went out after 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Do you have to relight all of them?
1 second.
What's the question?
The question was, if you lit a candle and it went out, so technically you don't have to, but the way we are in B'nai is that we relight the one that went out. The question is, you realize later on, whatever you left, and then you realize later on that it went out before the Zman, before the 15 minutes was up. So now when you relight it, you have to relight all the other candles as well. Or not? I think we'll be going a bit too far.
Yeah,
you have to look it up.
Your Yotze was the one candle anyway.
Yotze one candle, and the Ikar Hadin, the one that went out, you don't have to relight.
Right.
So you want the Indian to relight it, but I don't know if...
To
relight all of them, I think. At any rate,
it's not going to happen.
Where do we put the menorah? Now, one thing, let's go to the Zman of lighting. The menorah already spoke us between Mincha and Ma'ariv. Erev Shabbos, we light before Lichtbenchen. Best thing is to daven Mincha first. Neder's Chanukah and right Neder's Shabbos. Neder's Chanukah have to be done after Plag HaMincha. They have this man they're giving out. When is Plag HaMincha? It's a little after 3:30 these days. Now, Be'emes, you're supposed to daven Mincha first, but they say if you're not going to have a minyan, whatever it is, you shouldn't daven Mincha quickly by yourself. It's better to daven Mincha with a minyan. So, if you're running late, whatever it is, daven,
You make a minyan here.
So you're running late, daven Mincha, light the Chanukah, Shabbos, then daven Mincha with a minyan. You shouldn't push away the daven Mincha with a minyan in order to daven Mincha before Chanukah candles. Now, The question is, and there are two common questions that come up, a few common questions, two common questions that come up with Chanukah candles. First of all, somebody can't light in the Zman. He can't light right after Shkia. And the question is, he's going to come home very, very late. So what should he do? Should he light after Plaga Mincha? Or should he light when he's going to come home very late at night? So the Ma'aser Zazai, the truth is that lighting after Plaga Mincha before Shkia there's different opinions about it. Although Erev Shabbos we all do it, but on a regular day of Chanukah it's very questionable. Even though everybody says he could light, it does question whether he can make a bracha or not. So therefore, it would seem that it would be better to light as long as he's going to come home and people are still going to be up, and it's not going to be, it's not going to be still going to be a half hour before Aleis HaShachar, whatever it is. It would seem that if he knows for sure he's going to come home and he'll have time to light and people will be up, he should light then. Not after Plaga Mincha, before Shkia. Now, if he doesn't know if he's going to be able to make it Bechlal by night, the only option he has is to light it before Shkia, after Plaga Mincha. So then there are those that say in such a case the best thing would be somebody else should light in his home, make him somebody a shliach and light in your home, and he should light in his home when this man comes. His wife could light for him, whatever it is. He doesn't have to be there.
So what we do Friday isn't good.
What we do Friday is good because it's impossible to do it another way. The question is, in a regular day, would that work? So there are those opinions that say clearly it would work. It would seem, but
as long as it lasts.
You would have to add enough oil that it should last for a half hour after Tzesek Echafim. The shaila is, what is the best option here? To light it before Shkia, after Plaga Mincha, or to light it later on at night. So if you're going to be able to come home and people will still be up, or if a person is living by himself and he's going to be home in time. So l'chayre, he could light whenever he should better for him to light later by night than to light earlier on before Shkia, after Plaga Mincha. However, if that's not going to be an option, because he doesn't know if he'll make it, or even if he will make it, his family won't be up anymore. So then somebody should light in his house. So then it might be better, again, can ask it up in regular case, it might be better for somebody else to light in his house when the Zman comes. The other question that many people, sometimes ask is, not people ask, it's people don't ask it, but Ma'aser Zazai, the question is, Me'ikar Adin, the person is not supposed to do any work or do anything before Chanukah candles. Already a half hour before, you can't eat or work, whatever it is. Now, the Poel Mamish, for whatever reason, is most people aren't so makbid. They're in their work, they're in their store. When 7 o'clock comes, they close up shop, go home, light Chanukah candles. What is the heter? The only heter that there really is out there is that since the Zman, the Isser of doing work starts a half hour before Chanukah candles, so if you started before then, if you started working before the half hour before lighting Chanukah candles, technically it would be permissible to continue. Particularly in the times of the Gemara, you have to light Chanukah candles exactly at the time, because the main lighting Chanukah candles was done outside for people to see in the street. So therefore, you would have to do it. Mamish had a very small window of time to do it, because after a half hour, people already didn't roam the streets anymore.
And everyone in those days, everyone lit menorah, or was it only the big one in the base of Mikdash?
Everybody lit menorah. When the Chanukah was established, everybody lit. Even let's say the year after Chanukah. So the takana was that everybody should light Chanukah candles in the private home, not in the private home, to say it's in front of their home. So Zman HaGemara and everything, Zman HaMishnah Gemara, they would light outside. Mamish had a small window of opening. So then, if you wouldn't light right away, so you missed the Zman Chanukah. Today, anyway, we light indoors. So the main Persumei Nisa, the main publicizing of the miracles are the people that are inside. Not only that, minik Chabad is that even indoors we don't light by the window, which is made for the public to see, but we light inside only the family can see.
Why is that? I know we do it because the Rabbeim do it. But is it shaykh to say that in Russia wasn't...
No, in Russia minik Chabad, as I say, there's a few things. There's a number of reasons why we light indoors, why we light by the door, but remind me soon.
Well, we don't like it.
Well, we don't light by the window. Well, we have to light by the door. We'll get to that soon. Now, so in such a...
The main thing is the opposite of mezuzah, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I have an arch, a big arch. One end is the thing, one end is the mezuzah, and the other end I use the...
Right,
it's inside the house, not by the front door.
We have right by the... between the...
No, it doesn't have to be the front door.
You just said something at the front door, no?
In those days, they would light outside the front door, mamish outside.
Uh-huh.
Today we light indoors.
That's because of the Radley, whatever, right?
The time of day.
Yeah. The question is the reason why minik Chabad. You said you're going to speak about it later, but okay.
Minik Chabad. First of all, the Rebbe said, keep them off and put me in the Rav Kana. That's why the Rebbe brings it. Two things the Rebbe said. Also, certain menorahs have a back, so if you put them by the window, you don't see it inside. Another thing is sometimes you live in an apartment building, the menorahs are too high, people can't see it. But the truth is, besides that, there are other...
20 amas, right?
Yeah, besides the 20 amas, but no point.
The shelter man, yeah. But with all that, if you put on the window, the family is going to see it.
The other word is another nekuda here. There are those bichlal that say, they give different reasons. This is what the Rebbe pointed out. There are those that give certain reasons why we do it. Certain people say today, why shouldn't we do it outdoors? You have to saw people do it outdoors.
Yeah, they have the glass.
Because the only reason why it was done indoors is because of the sakona, because the goyim said you can't light the Chanukah, so why are you doing it outdoors? Why don't you do it outdoors these days? Discussions, people that give reasons why it's supposed to be done indoors, api halach, api kabbalah, whatever it might be. So it seems, one thing that I would say, if you learn Chassidus, befrat, where Chassidus explains the meaning of Ner Chanukah, that mezuzim mean Ner Chanukah mismoil, is the Indian vice is that in Yonam Alpi, since the Iker Pesumim is anyway for the family, the way it happened, it is man hazeh, whatever reason is going to give, spiritually talking, physically talking, come that the main mitzvah Ner Chanukah today, that we light in house, besides lighting it for public Chanukah later, which is mamish Pesumim mamish. But for every barab, but you light indoors is mamish for the family.
You can be it's actually kind of shtim. The way they do in Eretz Yisrael, they have these glass enclosures that on the opposite side of the menorah. So mainly mitzvahs b'mitzvahs.
The opposite side of the mezuzah, you mean?
Not on the side of the mezuzah, the opposite side.
That's where it's supposed to be.
Right. So then you have to be mitzvahs b'mitzvahs. So you have that part. You have the B'tzum in this.
But that you would have to do if you lighting it outdoors. We don't light it outdoors. That many people write. There's other people write that since it became Minig Yisrael, the Chachamim said to light indoors. B'Shatz HaSakona, once it was established that way, it remained that way. Yeah. They explain why it should be done indoors today. It's already being done indoors, so the main Persimmon is for you anyway. So the window. So whatever, this is a whole discussion already. But Pel Mamish,
I had relatives came over once Chanukah, and they said you walk down the Flatbush. Every house has a menorah. Borough Park. Every house has a menorah. You walk down Crown Heights, nothing.
But we have on the Chanukah and the cars.
Electric menorahs.
Yeah, we have cars everywhere.
And the Chanukah, yeah, but I'm saying you don't. It's the atmosphere that in Flatbush you walk down the block, then all the menorahs.
I know. I wonder how they do it. All that silver on the window.
Anyway, so getting back to this, Mela Bisman has anyway. The Zman of Chanukah menorah. Even though we still light Chanukah in the Zman, but nevertheless, the Zman of Chanukah menorah is in a certain sense not solely kuva the way it was then, because those days it had to be done when people were still in the street. Today it's done indoors. Therefore, since anyway you already started working when it was still before the half hour. And it's not as if you mamish have to light at that time. If you have to light at that time, you have to do mamish bizman. So you have no heter to continue working up until then, even if you started working beforehand, before the half hour. So therefore, Pel Mamish, that's probably the heter that most people will rely upon to stay and work, even past this man of Chanukah candles and to come home. Nevertheless, definitely people should keep in mind, even if they have to stay at work and rely on whatever header they're going to rely on, but They should try to light Chanukah candles as the first opportunity possible. Not that you go home and then first, face Merutzach, you calm down, and then when you finally decide 9 o'clock at night to light Chanukah candles, it definitely shouldn't be done that way. It should be an effort done to light it on time. That you're not supposed to eat before also. What is or even learn? What's eating? So, as long as you don't have mezainis, if you have mezainis less than the shear of an egg, mezainis or hamoitzi less than the shear of an egg, it would not be considered as eating. It would be allowed to eat.
And if you're doing a mitzvah?
If
you're involved in tzachei tzibor and the mitzvah?
If you're involved
in tzachei pushed off the food? I'm asking, I don't know.
So you don't have to wash. If you're going to eat mezainis you shouldn't have before. Eat other things you can have.
Squeeze out the jelly.
Salad. Salad.
Other things. Fruits, vegetables, that you can have. Learning like this, within the half hour, vices can be made. When the Zman of Chanukah candles comes, you shouldn't learn unless someone's going to remind you to light. Now, the first night we make all 3 brachas, Shechianu, yeah? Now, the second night you don't make Shechianu unless you didn't light. Let's say go Mitzvah, the guy that didn't light before Menorah, you make Shechianu. The second night we put the Menorah within the Chalal HaPesach, within the entrance way. We don't medank which way it goes, east to west, north to south. It's important halacha, people don't always pay attention to it. First of all, you can't light the menorah until you finish making all the brachas. Second of all, when you light a candle, sometimes it takes time until the wick catches on.
Don't go to the next one.
So don't go to the next one until the thing catches on. Until it's fully, like by the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash, it was the same thing. Until I know you always have that problem by my menorah.
You take garbage and you light it and you go to the next one and that guy goes out.
Which one?
So you light always on the left.
You mean
the left or
Start
the
from
right?
left to right.
Huh?
You start from
From
left to
left.
left.
Start.
Oh, the new one.
The new one is
The new one is always on the left.
Starting from
You're
left to
starting
right.
in the beginning Chanukah from the right and the new one's always to the left.
Now, some people say Hanedes Halalu after lighting one candle. We say we wait until everything is lit and say Hanedes Halalu. A few people are lighting. Each one has to have his menorah in a way that it's noticeable. Sometimes in yeshiva, people don't have their own menorah, so they just take cups and light.
No, I do one half of the menorah, he does another.
So weiter, so you don't know which day.
He did all the time, till the 6th.
You have to make a hecker that it should be
Fourth night,
noticeable that it's 2 separate menorahs.
But then that's cheaper.
Fine.
Just laziness.
So when you don't light from the Chanukah, first of all you have to be careful not to light the shamash from the menorah. Sometimes it goes out. Whoops, you can't do that. We're also careful not to light one Chanukah candle from the other as well.